Hi, this is Political News in 5. I'm Ayisha Osori. Now, first on the list today is the campaign structures for both the PDP and APC coming together. Last week, we heard that Governor Lalong of Plateau State has been selected as the Director General of the Tinubu campaign. He's from the North Central, he's a Christian, so obviously this pick is to appease the Dogaras, Babachirs, and others who are upset by the Muslim ticket of Tinubu and Shatima. It's also typical to pick governors for this role, so nothing new there. The pick that's surprising to me is Festus Keyamo, the current Minister of State for Labour and Employment, as the spokesperson for the Tinubu campaign. Now, why is he a bad choice? One, he's the face of failure of the Buhari administration, and he played this role in 2019 as spokesperson to the Buhari Oshibajo presidential campaign. Now, instead of him to give his full time to negotiating an end to the 5-month-old ASU strike, he will be spending his time being a spokesperson to the Tinubu campaign. For me, it shows how seriously APC takes governance. Now, on the PDP side, there's no DG yet, but it's quite possible that the DG might come from the southwest, so as to balance Tinubu, who comes from that region as well. Possible choices could be Governor Makinde of Oyo State or former Governor of Osun, Oyinlola Oyinlola, excuse me, could also be a choice. On the other hand, the role of DG for the Atiku campaign could also go to Tambuwal, who is governor of Sokoto. The Northwest is the zone with the highest number of registered voters, so it could also be strategic to go there. Now, in terms of spokespersons, 2 announcements were made, which for me is a recipe for disaster. One of them was Dino Melaye, the other one was Daniel Bwala. Now, for Melaye has been a senator both under APC and PDP, so he's flown both sides. I think picking him shows how seriously the Atiku campaign take this campaign. He makes videos, dances, and sings. For me, that's not what they need right now. On the Bwala side, he is very articulate, but also quite vocal. Recently said when he was an APC member that PDP is the kind of party that can never finish what they start. I think by picking him, what they've done is make him an issue to be addressed as opposed to him setting the agenda for the campaign. Now, as if we needed one more reason to say PDP and APCs alike, but their choices in spokesperson, for me, indicate that they don't understand strategic communications and seem to think that belligerent, verbose people or journalists or people who write opinions make effective communications or even understand the art and science of strategic communications. So there we are. The second thing that is disappointing about their choices is that they're both male tickets and could have used this opportunity to pick articulate women from their parties to be the spokesperson. On the APC side, we could have had somebody like Sharon Akiazo, who's from the southeast, that balances the ticket very nicely. She's current Minister of State for Environment. We could have also had Nkiru Onyejocha, also from the southeast, and who's been a House of Representatives member since 2007. On the PDP side, somebody like Tari Oba Oliver, who was the only female aspirant for PDP presidential ticket. She could have gotten it. She's articulate, she's young. Or we could have had somebody like Indikato, who had run previously to be a member of the House of Representatives but was denied the ticket. We could have also had someone stately like Aroma Ote, who's well known around the world, to play that role, and she had worked in the Jonathan administration. But there you are. Let's see if Obi will be any better when it comes time to pick his spokesperson or even other members of his campaign. Now, the second thing I want to touch on today quickly is that Wike and Atiku have started repairing the rifts I mentioned in the last episode. Last week, conversations between both sides begun. There's sure to be lots of different conditions on both sides. I understand that two of the conditions on Wike's side is that one, Atiku only serves 1 term. Where have we heard this before? And that Yochia Ayu, the national chairman of the PDP, steps down and that role goes to somebody from the south. Let's see whether there's enough room to compromise and come together before the elections in February. And so finally, the last thing I want to talk about this week is the Obi campaign, often dismissed for being an online social media campaign and not on the streets. A word that's been used is lacking in structures, but Obi keeps pointing out that the people are going to be his structures. Last week, 2 interesting things happened to show that Obi's appeal is moving beyond online to offline. One of them was the endorsement of Afenifere, a Yoruba sociocultural group that in the past had endorsed Atiku. Now they're endorsing Obi, and made it clear that one of the reasons they're not endorsing Tinubu is not wanting to continue the failed Buhari administration policies. And then second, yesterday there was a 1 million persons march in Nasarawa in support of Peter Obi that seemed to have quite a large turnout. So it's clear that there's a lot of excitement around Peter Obi, and when we tie that energy around Peter Obi to the fact that 71% of the 12.2 million people who completed their registration over the last 7 months, that's from January to July 2022, that number 71% are made up of people aged between 18 and 43. These are demographics that are not excited by either Tinubu or Atiku. So let's wait and see. Well, that's it for me this week. This is the time now to get your PVC if you don't have one, so that we can make sure we have a higher voter turnout in 2023. Join me again next week. Stay safe until then. Bye.